Every once in a while, we get a new shonen-style story that is just different enough that really makes you think and really makes the story and the enjoyment of the series incredibly fun and engaging. The newest story that I've found like this is Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is a Korean webtoon that was based on a web novel that has basically taken the internet by storm. Solo Leveling is amazing, plain and simple. If you're not reading this story before the anime adaptation comes out in January, you should absolutely be reading the story. There's only up to 20 chapters in the stories, and they just finished the entire storyline, so it looks like I have a lot of reading to do. By the way, you're watching the channel Dr. Applesauce. My name's Will. I hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there is an awesome plan for your life. But Solo Leveling is an insanely captivating, fun, and interesting story that takes place in a world where hunters, who are people that have these supernatural abilities because they became awakened at some point in time, are the only line of defense against these gates that have monsters inside of them. And the hunters are the only thing that are between the monsters and humankind being absolutely annihilated. Basically, what happens in this world is these gates appear, and for a certain amount of time, that gate is stable, where hunters can go inside the gate and defeat the dungeon, defeat the boss, kill everything, and basically shut the gate down. And if they don't do that, then the monsters can escape from the gate, thus wreaking havoc all over mankind and causing all kinds of pandemonium and mayhem. And in this world, people experience awakenings. And if someone is awakened into a hunter, they awaken basically latent abilities to make them, for lack of a better term, superhuman. You can become a mage, you can become a brawler, you can get a whole host of powers. But what's really interesting about this world that Solo Leveling takes place in is when somebody is awakened, their power is capped. You're awakened and you have a certain power level, and you don't increase beyond that power level. That's just how strong you are. So due to this, the world's organizations have started ranking all of their hunters from E all the way up to S, S being the most powerful. And Solo Leveling follows the main character Jinwoo Sung, who is a reawakened being, but he is an E rank hunter. He actually has the moniker and the title of the weakest E rank hunter in the world. And as the only person in his family that can actually work, he constantly goes to dungeons and has this penchant ability to not die, and he just stays alive out of sheer luck, I guess, and continues to just do this so that he can make money to help pay for his sick mom, and the only other person that is in his family is a sister who is in college, so he's trying to be the man of the house and help out with all of these things. And so our story follows Jinwoo Sung in this world where awakened beings and hunters have to go into gates to keep these crazy monsters from getting out and basically slaughtering mankind. And as we follow Jinwoo Sung, we see some very interesting things happen. He becomes what is called a reawakened being. Now, without giving away any spoilers, essentially he goes into a dungeon one time, and the dungeon isn't what it's expected to be, and a whole series of crazy events happen, and he is reawakened by the system, and come to find out he has all these new abilities that's almost like a gamer style heads-up display type of thing. It really makes me think of a lit RPG, or even sometimes isekais, where people are transported into another world, but they literally can level up, and they have heads-up displays and skills and abilities and stuff like that. Well, when Jinwoo has this reawakening and he becomes a player in the system, he essentially has all of these opportunities to level up. He gets quests, he has all these different things, and it makes him very unique from what the rest of the world knows as hunters, because he can continually level up. In fact, the actual direct translation from Korea, which this is a Korean webtoon, and it was adapted into a Korean manhwa, we commonly know it as Solo Leveling, but it can also be translated directly to mean only I level up, because as far as he knows, and as far as anybody else in society knows, he is the only hunter that is able to continuously level up through fighting and through quests and things of that nature, and he's able to get a whole host of powers that absolutely baffle the rest of the hunters in the world. As Jinwoo continues on his journey, different events and things happen where he can see that he has access to places that other hunters don't have access to. He starts to see different characters and different creatures and what may or may not be different worlds that other people aren't aware of. And we also have to understand, I'm speaking from my experience of only having read the first 7 books that are actually available. So obviously there's a lot more story to be developed. And in January of 2024, we're going to be getting the Solo Leveling anime adaptation. And this is going to be an incredible anime adaptation. And yes, I say anime adaptation because technically it won't be an anime because it's not based off of a manga, it's based off of a web novel, and then that was turned into a webtoon and a manhwa, which is Korean manga. So there are some technicalities right there, but at the end of the day, it is a freaking amazing story. It is so fun to read. I constantly found myself wanting to pick these books up and read through them and see what else was happening next, and then learning that there's like 150 more chapters after this, and I'm incredibly excited to see what the anime adaptation looks like. The trailers look fantastic, the storyline is fantastic. I can't wait to see how these fight scenes are animated. It's gonna be a heck of a lot of fun, and there is a lot of controversy around this because there's some rumors, and I'm not exactly sure where this started, but there was rumors that the setting of Solo Leveling was gonna be changed from Korea to Japan in the anime adaptation, and there's a lot of stuff online where people talk about that. I've even made a few posts about the show and people seem to be upset about that, and I wondered if it was true. And the main character's name is changed and things of that nature. But the official anime adaptation trailers that have come out for Crunchyroll all say the original Korean characters' names. You see where Jin Woo Sung is called Jin Woo Sung. There's another trailer where it goes through and shows a whole bunch of the different characters, and it shows their character name, which is the Korean name that's in the manhwa, and then it also shows the voice actor name, which is a Japanese voice actor. So to me, I'm a little confused. I'm not clear on exactly why people think there's going to be this change and this shift from Korea to Japan, because there is a lot of cultural headbutting between Korea and Japan, and that actually takes place in the storyline as well. You see the Korean government and the Japanese government using their hunters and their awakened beings in various ways to manipulate and play this crazy game of chess, and I'm not sure if these rumors are actually going to be true, but the biggest constant thing that I can refer to are the official trailers that are being dropped by Crunchyroll, where all the characters still have their original names. So at the end of the day, Solo Leveling is a fantastic story. I think the anime adaptation of Solo Leveling is going to be amazing. It's going to be so fun to watch, and it's going to be absolutely brutal watching Jin Woo Sung go through this crazy transformation from a mild-mannered E-rank hunter who's known as the weakest hunter in the world, and he goes through this transformation to become one of the most powerful hunters in the world, and his body completely changes. He grows mentally and physically very much like you would in an RPG video game as you level up and as you grow. He gains crazy abilities like summoning hundreds of minions to do his bidding, hundreds of shadow creatures. Of anything that he kills, he can basically reclaim that creature's shadow spirit, and it becomes a minion that fights for him. And he becomes one of the most overpowered hunters in the world, but at the same time is still caring and compassionate and wants to help people and wants to save people and wants to protect people. So I'm very excited to see where the Solo Leveling story continues, how the anime adaptation does, and how the anime adaptation is actually perceived by fans who enjoyed the webtoon. I'm gonna, after this, go start and continue to read the webtoon on my phone. I'm very much a purist where I prefer to actually have books in hand or watch the anime in hand, but this story is so good that I have got to go and continue reading this and see what happens, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you have read Solo Leveling and what your opinion is of it. I think this is going to be a phenomenal anime. It is already a phenomenal story, and you should 100% go and start reading this online right now if you don't want to spend any money for it, or go to Amazon and pick up the first 7 copies and have the physical books in hand, which was a lot of fun. It was a big treat. I really enjoyed actually having them in hand. But the Solo Leveling anime adaptation does come out in January of 2024. I'm incredibly excited for it. Guys, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about it. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. It's free for you to do, and it helps the channel so much. If you like this one, check that one out. I think you'll like it a lot too. And like I always say, my friends, find somebody to love and serve today. Be the change you want to see in the world. See you next time.